We are so excited to hop on here and do a twin flame Q&A. You guys asked and we are answering. So in our community, so if you guys are not paying attention to our community thread, we've been chatting with you guys and we asked some questions and we got we asked 4 questions. We got a lot of questions, and so we can't answer them all here, and we've been messaging some of you guys back already. But what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take some time to scroll through, let Spirit choose some questions and dive into it.
Yes.
So happy to see some of you guys popping on here. We don't do a whole lot of YouTube lives, so this is going to be a new tech thing for me. And we're having
We're moving and grooving. We have some
crazy
lawn care. We live in Florida. There's a lot of lawn care. They take their lawns very seriously.
They could ease
That's
up
a whole
on
nother
that.
subject we can talk about.
Whole nother subject.
Hello. You guys are popping on now.
Hey.
Yes. What's up?
Tell us where you guys are, where you guys are from, what's going on for you this morning. Before we go any further, want to be able to tune in. Really, really happy to see you guys.
Yes.
It's really nice. We really wanted to, I love the questions you guys, we both do, love the questions you guys asked.
Hello.
They're really great. They're really intimate. It's really nice to try to spend some time connecting in the community together.
Puerto Rico, yay!
Yes. So good to see you guys.
Love. It's going so fast. Sorry, I can't even see them.
And hopefully we don't get interrupted. I just realized I did not set my phone to do not disturb and all of the good stuff. So if we get disconnected, we'll hop back on.
Yes.
And we'll do our best to make sure that we can spend some time here with you guys doing questions. Now, before we do that, we have to tell you guys, so if you guys, first of all, if you're brand new, welcome. Please take a moment, subscribe, like this video so
I'm
other
Nicole
people...
and that's Dove.
Yes, and we are Twin Flames, and we have been in union for almost 13 years now. We're just about a month or so shy, and this is a really special morning for us, and so it's also a really nice time to be hopping on with you guys. So we want to also tell you guys and invite you guys to something really special for us. Today is the first day that we have opened the doors for people to register for our first multiple day virtual seminar.
Yes.
We're really excited about this. If you're sitting there and wondering who this applies to, this is for anyone. Everyone. This is about us coming and connecting, bringing massive support, change, bringing our incredible method to light with you guys and doing some incredible work connected. But it's a big deal. It's been years of us, wanting to bring this, and we did not bring this to the world yet on a live in-person stage because things have been shifting on the planet so much, and it's a time more than ever that people have felt really separated. And so part of this event is us being able to come together and feel the power of our connection. It's going to be pretty amazing. We've got speakers. I really invite you guys to check the link below.
Yes.
We're going to have speakers. We've got an amazing world-renowned performer that's going to do a bonus concert for you guys. You guys are going to be able to connect. You're going to go deep into the work. And, if you've been working with us for years, this is for you. If you're brand new to us and you've just seen one video and said, I like Dove and Nicole, this is for you. I mean, really, this is something for you guys to pin.
Claim your seat.
Yes.
Claim your seat. Oh my gosh. We do a couple hours on a thing with Dove and I. This is going to be 3 days worth of stuff where we're really diving deep, taking home tools. I know that an immersive process for Dove and I is very important throughout each year. We're putting ourselves around other people, like-minded people. We're masterminding. If you don't know what that is, we connect at the subconscious level. When we go into an event like this, we master and we connect at mind level, and all of a sudden, the potency of the manifestation is so big and so loud that it hits every square inch of this planet.
Yes, 100%. You guys might feel like, okay, it doesn't matter if I don't come. It matters. It matters if you're there because we're all connecting and co-creating something really special. The registration page has so much information, so I'll talk about bits and pieces as we're doing the Q&A, but you can go and use that link and you will get so much information on your questions, what's going on. We've got a general admission ticket. You can have that ticket, do it from the comfort of your home. If anybody in your home is interested in joining you, let them join you, right? Do it as a family. It's really special. If you guys are looking to spend more time with us and go even more immersive, there's a VIP ticket option. That's a really limited number of tickets for that, but we're going to be with you for actually 5 days in that case and not just 3. And if you're like, how can I take this much time to spend with Dove and Nicole? it's amazing how important it is to create sacred space and priority for immersive experiences to support ourselves. So I invite you guys so deeply to check that out.
Oh, I love that. Actually, there was a question that popped up.
Perfect.
That I would love to answer to kick this off.
Yeah.
Definitely asking what our morning practice is like, connecting with spirit and with God. And I, just to let you guys know, my favorite time is before the sun comes up, to step out of my bed all alone, take my walk down the hallway, come to my office space, and I just sit for a second, and I'm like drinking my water. So then I have my, my green tea after, but I'm sitting there and I just take that first breath, like a really deep breath, where I honor my life, right? Just no matter what happened the day before, no matter what is going on in my world, and this year has been wild with external things going on, I sit in gratitude, because in that space, when I am in gratitude, my heart opens and it allows me to really connect with source.
Yes.
Right? If I'm blocked, if I'm angry, which happens, if I'm doing all those things, I'm like this. There's not a whole lot of connection. But as soon as I come back to gratitude, that I am happy that I can put my feet on this carpet, that I'm happy that I have a roof over my head, that I'm happy that I have this beautiful wife and 4 fur babies and, really amazing friends and amazing mentors, and I have a full, rich life. That's first, right? And then I say my opening prayers for my day. Pray for you guys. I pray for Dove and I really sit with some of the things that, maybe that I went through the day before. Where do I need to make amends? Like, where did I kind of fumble up? I just start to go through, and I don't do it in a judgy way. Sometimes I do. Depends on what time of the month it is. But it's like, and I allow myself to just sift through, like, hey, could I have done something better? And I love to journal, right? I love to write things down. Right? I have a journal for my animal totems, whatever animals came to speak to me the day before. I sit and I write and I talk about the energy that they brought to me, right? And then one of my probably favorite ways to connect with God is to put my headsets on, pick a beat, and write some music, and allow myself to express God's love through my music, and it lights up every cell to be in that creative space. And then after all of that, I think my next favorite thing is Dove. That morning hug where I get to hug the love of my life and just, kind of be grateful for my connection with her. Yeah.
Oh, well, I love what Nicole shared. I think we'll save my morning practice for another time, since I think that was really a beautiful insight into Nicole's morning practice. The only thing I'll say is, and she didn't say, she works out a lot in the morning, which is amazing. She knows her
After all
body.
that, then I go work out. Sorry. That's true.
And I was thinking when she was saying that, the one thing I wanted to add was the importance of actually having some level of movement for your body.
Yes.
And so I don't work out as much as her, so I like to bring in Qigong and breath work, right? So shaking my body and getting my lymphatic system to move and to shift. Having our physiology change is really the fastest way to create change in our lives. And so a lot of us in our community talk quite a bit about energy and the importance of energy, and it's very important, but this body also needs to get in gear and get synergized with what other things we want to create, what we are creating, which is, and that's actually a lot of what we're going to do over our seminar as well, our R.I.S.E event, really being able to create real changes in the physiology and the energy in your space in that moment so that you have momentum. But that's a really big thing. So allowing yourself to learn the power of and get tools for the power of your physiology and letting yourself shift. For Qigong has been really big for me. That's actually why we're bringing in a Qigong master into our event to also serve you guys further. It's not just going to be Nicole and I. All right, so I'm going to dig into some of these questions that you guys put into our community thread. And just kind of let Spirit pick a question. Let's see what's going on. Okay, this one just said they love the picture. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Oh, you know what? What's the story behind our tattoos? Will we get any more? Okay, so we have probably 100 tattoos between us, so we're not going to be able, we could maybe do a video just on our tattoos.
Do some, though.
Yeah, you can pick your favorites. What I will say about my tattoos is that yes, I will get more. Each of my tattoos has been at a point of transformation or initiation in my life. It's really interesting. I almost feel like they they come in the layers of my transition, and each of them means something really important to me. Nick and I have some matching tattoos.
Oh yeah.
On our hands.
So let me get up so you can see. It says love and always, and then
yes, and mine too on the sides of my hands. And that's just something,
that's
Nicole,
self-explanatory.
it is. Also, Nicole used to always say to me, I love you, and my response was always. So, and I still do that sometimes. Not that I don't say I love you, it's just kind of our little way of doing it. So love always, and also reversing them is always love, right? So for me, that also goes to another tattoo I have on the back of my thighs, which says, I am love, and love transforms all. I'm also really big on the understanding that tattoos change us. We were talking about physiology, right? So we're putting the affirmation of a symbol or a statement on our body, and that affects our physiology, affects our energy, and affects, what we're sort of saying to ourselves. And I have to say that getting that statement, I am love and love transforms all, on my legs was this sort of reminder that I walk that, and I allow myself, when I feel like I'm walking through things that are difficult or scary or whatever, to come back to the anchor that is the love that transforms all. It is also something that's created a lot of shedding and transformation for me, because that's an intense statement to surrender to love and to allow, the BS to kind of drop by the wayside. You make a big, bold statement and you take it in. I actually have been called recently, and so a lot of people don't realize that I have a lot of tattoos. They're not as visual on me. I have both the front and the back of both of my thighs tattooed, my back, my chest is tattooed, I have been recently called to get some work done that's going to be out of the country. So that's going to happen in divine time, and that's going to be deep ceremony work. And I've had images of this work for probably 10 or 15 years, but now it's finally, calling to me, so it'll happen in time. I'm gonna share two of mine. So this one right here is of a panther, and it actually has a symbol of the moon in the mouth, because the panther is like the shadow. And then over here I have the vulture skull with the sun. And so the panther medicine, I remember one night I had a dream that I really felt real, where I was up in a tree and I was with this panther, and it started biting me, but it didn't hurt. It just kept biting me. And then when I woke up, I was like really sitting with this energy of the night, the energy of the shadow, the energy of the dark, and it was very much connected with the moon, and I couldn't really shake it. So I ended up getting the symbol, and just as a healer and as a coach, I understand darkness. I've been enveloped in it throughout my experience in many lifetimes, so that I can understand it, so I can help other people to be able to work their way through their symptomatic stuff and go down to the root, where it's like we're trying to hide it and like keep it in the basement. And then the turkey vulture and the sun is very much connected to the central sun. I do work around that meditation in the central sun, and the turkey vulture is my totem. Those babies, they're always there with me, cleaning energy, and have been with me since I was really young. I've always seen them and just really jived with them. And they get a bad rap, but they clean up all the death and all like the disease, and they take care of all the leftover stuff that no one else wants to deal with, and they do it. And I think it's very powerful energetically to think about that. Yeah, they're really special. So thank you for that question. If it's interesting to you guys, you can drop a comment below if you want us to make an entire video about our tattoos. I mean, we won't cover all of them, but we could make a video talking about them, and some of them are quite personal to us as well. Well, in fact, they all are personal to us. Yeah. So here's a really good question. I sort of answered it in writing back to this person, but then there was follow-up to it. I think it's an important question, which is, what's your secret to staying in union? Do you still have triggers with each other? And if so, how do you deal with it? And then subsequently, when I explained to this person, which I'll explain here, that we do still get triggered, they asked, then why do people say you have to be fully healed to be in union? Wouldn't you then have nothing to grow or work from anymore, right? Why do we still have to grow? And in that case, if we still have growing to do when we're together, when does union occur? So there's a lot to this. We definitely can't answer it all the way through, because we could talk for hours on this. But I want to say a couple things right off the bat, right? Which is, yes, we can still get triggered, and we still have experiences, and we still have crap together. So that's the first yes to that, right? Like, That is the truth. Secret to staying in union for me, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Oh, I got some things, girl.
Is letting yourself continue to grow and evolve individually and alongside of each other, right? Like actually not ignoring one of those two components. It's not just growing as a couple, but also growing, because when I'm talking about union, I'm talking about physical relationship union rather than the energetic union that you guys are always in, right? It's knowing that you are constantly growing together. We joked the other day, we were at brunch, and I was looking at Nicole and I said, we have had like millions of relationships together with each other in this life, because we constantly are allowing ourselves to shift and grow together and grow as a unit so much. We do our work, we communicate, and we don't stop being in that space, right? So yeah, feedback on and we'll kind of take this question in sections.
I think some of the most important work that Dub and I have been, and we're mastering it still, is, first of all, understanding your needs and your values as a person, right? And needs in the relationship and needs in general. And then we have found ways to set up like, I don't want to use the word rules, but we have guidelines and things that we use. Like we're like, here's the tool. We've named them, when like, for instance, I'm highly sensitive. I'm a highly sensitive being. I'm very emotional. My father was emotional. He showed me how to cry. I sometimes in the past, I've let my emotions get the best of me. If you've had a lot of trauma, you could really let your emotions run your whole life. And so I've had to find tools to be able, when I go from a 0 to trigger, like heated, my head's hot, to say, hey, Dove, I got to take a break, time out, because we can't speak when we're here. And that's just one of the tools. Or like, hey, like if we're going to separate in that moment to take some time, I need to know like, hey, when you're ready to talk, because we definitely need to talk about what just happened. Yes. And then we come back together, or whatever that is. I know that for Dove and I, taking like space for self is important. Also, spending so much. Listen, we run a business together. That doesn't mean we get to spend quality time together, even though we're around each other all the time, making time to be face to face, putting the devices down, being with one another, playing in nature with one another, making sure that there is a balance with social life, our life. And again, I'm saying this is not an easy thing to do,
right?
But it's been a really important focus for both of us to have a healthy, enriched, relationship and the quality of that relationship.
I love what Nicole just said, and I want to pull that concept, not easy. I think a lot of people say, they'll say to us, wow, you guys are so lucky, it's so amazing. And I think that there isn't an awareness, because Nicole and I met earlier on in our life where we had a lot of our own stuff that was really actively blaring, and like a lot of our shit and our wounds were really out of control. And I think what people don't realize is, it wasn't easy, not easy at all, difficult, like tumultuous, challenging. We had to put in a lot of effort, a lot of tears to care for ourselves, and then therefore be able to care for this union. And so that's just one thing that I want to say about like the sort of secret to it, right, is care and authenticity to their self. The other thing is communication and having transparent communications, because twins can feel everything, and also just strong soul connections. Anybody that's really in, I think relationships, people don't consider how much we can feel each other in general, and I think there's just so much you can feel from the other person, the more you can communicate it and lay it out. And the expansion into your journey for your self-love. I mean, it's really, really huge. One thing we will say for twins across the board, always, is they say, how do I get my twin back? Or what do I do? Or how do I... And I will say to you, and Nicole will say to you, and we won't stop saying to you, the focus needs to be on you.
Yes.
Like, you are the nucleus of your reality. And I know you think like, well, what, my twin needs to get their crap together. They need to change this. They need to change that. Bring it back to you. You have full power and control of one thing, and that is you. I'm going to say that again. You've got full power and control over one thing, and that is you. And you are the generator of your reality, and you are the generator of your engagement with other people. It's massive. If you start putting your time and focus to you, everything is going to transform. So I want to answer more of this question. Again, there's a lot to it. So the question is, so the other part of the question was really essentially around, if we're supposed to be fully healed to be together, how could Nicole and I still trigger each other? And my response to that is, have you ever met a person that has no more growing to do? If you have, they're
if you're
lying.
in this body, it's like, well,
They're
your
lying.
own body. Yeah.
It's we all have more evolution to do. That's kind of a state of our being in this body. It's awesome, it's amazing, and it's cool. And then so the question then the person asks is, if in fact, so this is a cool question because it's kind of a dialogue, if in fact we always are growing, then when are we supposed to come into union? One thing I want to say about that is each and every one of you guys has a different agreement with your twin soul, and when you're coming in, or what your union is going to look like, what your relationship is going to look like. And I gauge the work that you've done, not just in the present life, but in your soul evolution together, right? Nicole and I were in 3D, a hot mess. As souls, we had done a lot of work, right? We were ready and had chosen to come together to do the next part together, right? And so it's individually different for everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything else on that?
No.
Okay. Is one twin always ahead in the learning process of this journey?
Well,
or do people line up? Well, of course they line up eventually.
Yeah, I lined up eventually. No, we definitely line up, and it's interesting.
I like that you said I was ahead.
No, you were. I hope so. Well, I think so. Actually, no, I always saw it as that because, like, I was like, I really needed you. I needed your love. I needed your love. I needed her love to kind of guide the way because I was so lost in the sauce, in my drug sauce. Definitely. What's interesting though is I'm noticing now is that, so the more that we trust one another, the more breakdown happens. And you're like, wait, what? The more Dove and I trust one another, the more that breakdown is allowed in the relationship personally and for the relationship, because we trust each other enough to have these breakdowns and to be able to look at them. And so I've noticed that, I think the way nature is and how God is so merciful in a lot of ways is I watch Dove and I kind of go like this. We grow. It's like I'm having an up level, Dove is dipping, and it's like I come back up, and we're just constantly going this. And then there's a little mix party in the middle where we're both in like bliss, and there's like, after that, and then somebody's doing a deep dive, and they're just like, and the other's like looking at it like, I'm holding a Raffi, girl. And so we did balance out. And that's really where I think for me, where the work really started. Everything else was like damage control. It was, and you guys know what I'm talking about. For some of you, twin flames are, and I did want to bring this up because it's a hot topic right now where we talk about like, twin flames, twin souls, is twin flame this new age agenda? And also, just talking about how I think that mainstream took twin flames, they made it this floofy kind of like, the end all relationship, and it's so much more sacred than that. There's no difference between the energy of twin flame and twin soul. It's the same concept. Now we're just taking semantics. And with that being said, I have seen the journey really mess with people's whole being, because they're focused so much on the relationship that they don't understand, and they think that was the whole part of it. And then what happens is when it doesn't happen, your whole life is just falling apart, and then you kind of give up. And that's not the point of this, and for a lot of you, it was kind of like tag you're it, and that was the incarnation, was to remember and then to continue on, and not necessarily the relationship. And so, we never get off the journey. Even if we're not in union in a life, because you guys are connected and you're a mirror of each other. You show each other something about each other. And really, I've seen people that are not in union with their twin really make the concept still, and not even a concept, but still understand the connection and allow for that to be a part of their life while they're dating somebody else or in a marriage or whatever that is. And so I think it is the perception and the energy that we bring into this, always, I guess, the perception of how this can work for us no matter what, and really allow for yourself to kind of sift through the nonsense and the stuff that's harming you. Yeah, absolutely. And that's a big, big subject, but I think it's really good for us to touch on it. Yeah. Again, it's always coming back to you.
you know, you can have this incredible and amazing life. You have an individual journey with your twin. It is not something to be compared to other people. You know, you can get information that resonates and makes sense, but the way that you're going to work it out and dance with it is individual to you. And that's why also healing and taking care of yourself is so important, because the way that you look at things is always filtered through your experiences, your beliefs, your traumas, and more. And so if you allow yourself to reconcile those pieces more and more, you will look at it from a higher perspective in a cleaner state, right? With that being said, I also want to remind you guys, because this is just really exciting for Nicole and I, if you are just hopping on, we just opened today the registration for a very, very special multiple day seminar with us and also guest speakers, creating really big change over a 3-day period. We have an incredible special bonus concert for you guys. I mean, it's really, this is an unbelievable event. So I just invite all of you guys to at least just take a moment to click the link in the description after you've watched this Q&A, or right now if you want to, and just actually get more information about it, because it's really special and it is pertinent to some of what we're talking about right now.
Absolutely.
Which is that you can come into a space to reclaim your parts, to wake these things up, to come into community together, to, you know, tend to these parts of yourself, to move in the vibration of energy together, to have all those twin flame activation codes from Nicole and I, even though this is not a twin flame specific subject event, and really create some movement in your life around this. And it's really important to invite you guys, you know, especially our YouTube community. You know, we don't often invite you guys into a lot of things. We have so many amazing programs, and, you know, we know that they are, they're there for you guys, but it feels really special that we really do this together right now in real time, live together. It's this month, so please check it out. And I don't have my glasses on, so I'm sorry, I can't see some of the comments.
Well, I can actually, there was a question actually, if like we had a false twin flame, or if everyone has to have that. And it's interesting because I'll share our story. Is Dove and I didn't know anything about twin flames.
No.
So even when I look back, I couldn't imagine anyone that I was with before Dove where that would have been like a catalyst. And any, like, yes, every relationship I was in gave me something and I gave them something, and we helped each other grow in a certain way. But when I was with Dove, I knew nothing about twin flames until the message came through, and it was like Spirit was like trying to give us this information so we could understand this deep soul connection that we were having and bring light to why we loved and hate each other so much. Right? We loved each other. We were so in love, and also we hated because we hated ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we didn't love ourselves, so it was coming up in the mix, right? Where I was like, I fucking hate you and love you and I want to leave, but I can't stay away from you, and like, why the fuck? And then it was like, you know, Spirit's knocking on the door and Dove's doing artwork, painting twin flames, doesn't know nothing about it, and it was just like, hello. And when the information came, it came at the right time so that I could say, I take a deep breath and I understand why this has been so hard, and I understand who you are to me. And so, so for other people and people we have coached, I have seen, you know, karmics or whatever you want to say, soulmate walk in and, you know, shake the bottle, shake it up, shake it all up, and start to awaken what needs to awaken. And then that wasn't, you know, their divine partner, and that's okay.
Yeah. I'd love to bring some perspective shifts here. So for me,
please. Everything
is perspective. I think everything really is truly perspective. So I don't love the label. I'm not a big label person. In fact, I think it creates a lot of story. I think labels are helpful. I think we have an evolutionary process, right? So I'm going to break it down really, really in shorthand, I should say. Evolutionary process looks a little like this. We don't know what's going on. We find a label that resonates, we attach the label. But then I think that's not the end of the evolutionary process. The end of the evolutionary process is really just going through and then being able to release the label and realize that we're more than that, right? And so for me, just a side note about labels, right? But for me, the false twin concept, I don't love it as I don't hold on to that as a label, because I think what it can do is it can make people really dismiss strong connections and strong soul connections and really serving relationships. You know, the relationship you're probably thinking about right now that you're like, that was a useless relationship, that was a terrible relationship. Those are actually on the top of your list for the most important relationships you ever had.
Yes.
That's it. The one that you're like, no, Dove, that one was garbage, that was a mistake. No, that was the important
Even
one.
the narcissist story, that was one of the most
Yep.
important pieces that you've learned to understand what you do not deserve and what you do not want and what you do not need to create in your life anymore.
And what you are creating, why you're creating it, what's going on with
Absolutely.
you, because it is not a one-sided story. So for me, I think that there is beauty in other people that can come into your life, and so I try hard to not create that label. I think also as a catalyst or as an activator, many people serve that role, right? So if I wanted to go in and label my process, there was certainly somebody right before Nicole that led me to the possibility of moving into a dynamic with Nicole, and also moving into a dynamic of shifting my sexuality, and actually that person, or shifting the way I see my sexuality. That's what I should say, not shifting my sexuality. It's a Tuesday morning, doing my best. And the other thing that was also occurring too is that person was actually friends or connected to Nicole, and they actually did physically introduce us. But on the other hand, I validate that person in my life more than just saying that they're my false twin. It's a very demeaning for me. That was a strong soul connection. We've had past lives together. We healed stuff together. We made a mess together, and they connected me with Nicole. And there is a care and a respect for this being. So
Absolutely.
I think that for me just feels like we need to individually look at that. And I've also had people come to us and say, I keep, dumping people because they're not my twin flame, and that really worries me too, because it's like, I would love to invite all of you guys to tune into that connection that you're having without the label of it and decide if that's what you want. Because Nicole and I had no idea who we were to each other, and we knew we couldn't not love each other. And we knew that there was something there. Right? And finding out who we were to each other just gave us the opportunity to get tools to make that happen for us.
Yes.
Right? And we also agreed and understood that once we found out who we were to each other, we weren't staying together just because of that. Not at all. We were staying together because that's what we wanted and what we felt, and we used that as tools. So there's big perspective shifts that might be happening for some of you guys. And some of you guys might already totally be on board with this.
Yes, that is one of Dove's paintings on the wall behind us. And I love it because it kind of reminds me of a cell, but it's also like a portal. It's also like the sun I was telling you about. And it's got real gold flakes on it. And it's something just when I walk in, my whole heart just opens and reminds me how connected we all are to each other.
Yeah, that painting is called Origin. And one day I was meditating and I saw two. It's actually supposed to be a set of two, and I haven't done the other one. And it actually felt very twin related. So it's nice that one of you guys picked up on it. And it was origin of our sort of origin as that space of connection. And then you can't see it in the painting. There's a spot where it starts to kind of, something separates a little bit, almost like an egg, an embryo. And then the next one is the origin of the two circles that are sort of also overlapping, and how we start to find that duality and find.
I'm getting you a canvas. We're doing it.
Yeah, find the aspect of
We'll
our separate and not separateness. Anyway.
Love it.
So yes, I don't paint enough. I paint as much as I can. I've done actually more work recently in the last few months than I have in a long time, because we've also been in creation mode, creating this amazing event for you guys, which I really, really deeply and truly hope every one of you guys are at.
Yes.
All right, let's take one more question.
Okay.
We're going to do more of these because you guys have a lot of
questions.
questions.
We're going to hop on again soon, actually.
We
like these Q&As and we want to spend time.
And you guys have a lot of questions, so we'll definitely
come
do
back
more.
and do them.
But, we can't do 120 questions. Well, if we did, I think it would do you guys an injustice. Okay, so this is the one I'm going to take. Whenever my twin flame and I are on the verge of a breakthrough and everything is great and so much progress and all the stars are aligning and then everything gets messed up, is this normal? How can you stop it from happening? LOL. So
it is normal.
There's some of this is going to be a little general, and then some of it would need to be specific to you guys and your cycle, right? So it sounds like what there is there's a cycle going on. And some of the normalcy of the cycle is there's sabotage and upper limiting happening. Meaning you guys get close, the intensity is real, the possibility for harmony is there, and then the parts inside of you
Yes.
that are not ready for that harmony, that do not believe that you are deserving of that,
Or
right? This
fearful.
is why I said, this is about you.
Yes.
You need to do this work. You need to dig really, really deep in there and excavate that shit. You need to figure out where you don't feel worthy or good, or like you can communicate, or you can be seen, or like things can actually work out for you.
Yes.
Right? Have you ever like had good things happen and say like, when's the shoe gonna drop? If that shit is going on in here, that when it starts getting good and the intensity between the connections starts getting really real, you guys are going to want to default. You're going to want to blow it up. One or both of you are going to sabotage the situation, subconsciously or consciously or a combination, to blow it up, to go back to what? A cycle that is actually more familiar. It is actually more familiar for a lot of people to be in a state of discord or breakdown or lack or loss or disappointment.
Yes.
Than it is for us to have things actually going good for them. And so we'll find ways, but guys, this upper limiting stuff is really real, okay? There's actually a great book by Gay Hendricks, The Big Leap. It's super triggering. You guys can read it. It's cool. I mean, everybody I've ever said I recommended, they like wrote me back and were like freaking out. So trigger warning, I'm not endorsing this book. I don't, I'm not paid to say that. Anyhow, I just want to say where this concept comes from. But here's the thing. We get to a place where we reach our glass ceiling of what is good, potent, and possible for us. And then we freak the fuck out.
Yes.
And then we blow shit up. But the problem is that it's highly subconscious for most people. So they will justify why they are blowing this up. They will create all sorts of stories and feelings and ideas.
Believe it like it's really happening.
You guys can even get yourself sick physically. And you can say, I can't. There's an amazing example in that book. And, a speaker cannot show up to a big event where they need to speak because they get strep throat or something.
Yep.
And now how reasonable is it to say I can't go speak, I have strep throat. The crazier concept is you creating the strep throat from your subconscious upper limiting and your sabotage so you don't have to show up. Then you get into holy shit, what am I creating territory, right? And this is the kind of stuff that we do need to do work with other people to see, because we are in our subconscious territory and we are in our deep core wound territory and we're in our deep cycle territory, right? So if we can give you one thing we did not say when you guys said, key to union, secret to health, like a good life. People asked us about finances. We'll talk about that next time. Secret to these things, do your work with another person. Get support and perspective.
Absolutely.
Be seen. Have your blind spots looked at.
Yes.
That stuff is important. That's not a joke. We do this work for you guys and with you guys, not just because we think this is a cool way to do, to have a business, but because we know and we apply and we do all the things we're asking you to do. We will save it in our own life.
The life.
Major, major, major stuff. Yes, we will save this life. We will post it. On that note of doing our work and facing our shadow and doing that shit, again, I'm going to invite you guys, please, please, please do yourself a favor. There isn't going to be another event at this price point with this amount of time that we're spending with you, with these many resources, with the amazing potency of what we're getting into. Just really, if any of our content feels like it serves you, this will serve you. Go check it out. See what you can do to make it possible for you to be at this.
Invite your friends, your grandma, your grandpa, your twin, your false twin. Get them all in the same room. Let's do some work.
I have heard.
Wait, don't do that because I don't know how that's gonna go down.
If you're called,
pack your house out. I don't care. You buy one ticket, just pack it out with your whole family. Let's do some lineage work, some ancestral work. It's all going down.
But the disclaimer is, if it doesn't go well with the twin,
hide your kids, hide your wife. No, I'm kidding. Because your false twin is there. No.
That's long story, internal joke. That probably people do not know that when Nicole does that, it's actually from a very famous YouTube video that's very funny.
I think people know that actually.
I don't know how many people know it. It cracks me up. One of my favorite things about Nicole actually is that we both do it. We'll just say random movie quotes or YouTube quotes at really random or inappropriate times, which just feels great, especially when they're really nuanced ones that I think people would not pick up on, and they're just I don't know what they're saying, but they keep going with it.
Yeah.
So there's a little insider information you might not know about us. So We're sending you guys so much love. We're hoping that this has been helpful. We're going to do more of this. We're hoping you can step into this next journey with us. With this R.I.S E virtual event, it means so much to us. And we will see you soon. So drop your questions. You can keep dropping questions in the community feed under Ask Us a Question. I think it was like a week ago. I'll make a new one on there as well in a week or so. We'll keep this going. And we'll see you guys soon. All right. Bye, guys. Let's see if I can figure out how to turn this off.
It's this.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. I clicked the wrong one. Bye, guys.
Girl.